Yeah. I'ma probably live forever. Your time is limited. Fuck up my kid and I kill this shit. This shit like kissing the devil. Fuck out my business. You should feel.
Welcome to Island Time Radio. This is your host with the most. My name is the artist known as Chubby, aka Sellers. And I got here with you tonight, Earl Leatham. And I got Kerdel with me, Kerdel Abraham. They come to hang out with me tonight. My co-hosts, they're not in America. So they're doing what they're doing, you know, shout out to them. But we're going to keep the show rolling. What's going on, my boy?
Everything good, man. What's going on with you?
Ain't nothing, man. Hey, no Yankee Daps. Okay, man. Think safe, man. So, man, tell the people about Earl, man.
Background, roots is a little all over the place. I'm originally from St. Thomas, but my people them from Dominica. Born in Puerto Rico, so I'm a little confused.
You were born in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, something y'all don't know about me, but
why I didn't know that? I grew up with this dude forever. I didn't even know you were born in Puerto Rico.
Born in Puerto Rico, man.
That's why you get in permanent waves. That's why you get in permanent waves. Okay.
I lived rock about 16 years. But after 3 days after I was born, them man take me back, rock ship me back.
Okay. So you was a rock
man. They didn't
man.
want me. I was too dark for them.
Yeah, rock man. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
so about 16 years, and then move out here to the States for my senior year of high school. I find a way to kind of convince my people them to let me go back for my senior year. I tell them on a story. I tell them, hey, listen, I want to go States. I want to be able to get a scholarship.
Hey, man.
My school ain't getting no accreditation because that junior year, that's when they had all the
take
fight
it away.
them. They
Okay. That's when we had the hoopla.
Yeah.
Ain't only Ken had accreditation at the time?
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. Ken, because we had do the vibes to Ken. And then Kem set up our rocks on our campus.
Yeah, I remember that. When they had throw like meat all over the school.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then our boy, the director, had that vibes go.
Oh, yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to you. We don't call on this, but shout out to you. We know who you are. But yeah, use it, man.
So, after all of that, I thought that was my perfect opportunity because originally I wanted to go back from since 9th grade. Because I wanted to play ball. And by the time middle school come around, I started to see I wasn't getting the kind of after a while, you playing with the same on them since elementary.
Yeah, you weren't getting better.
Yeah, you weren't getting better. You kind of hit a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of wanted to be able. I know that was an opportunity there. I know a lot of rock man that have been bad.
Yeah,
and they just couldn't get an opportunity.
Shout out to Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis.
Cantan.
Legend.
Okay,
of course.
Legend.
All them do can talk now. My boy ain't continue basketball, but if my boy continue basketball, I guarantee it.
For sure.
He would have been the real thing, but that's another story.
He
had hops, he could have shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That was the man.
That was our staying team.
Yeah, that was our star. Every hood get that man said that was ours, you check.
Yep.
And you are a good hooper too, though. I know you're still ball, right?
Yeah, I still ball. Just today I had a game, so I do a little.
Oh, you play a league and thing?
Yeah, I play a little league.
So this guy does it all, man.
Try to stay in shape.
Okay.
But yeah, originally I always wanted to go back for my high school years. My brother them and my cousin them and all of them had already moved back, and
Shout
I
out
just
to
wanted
you,
a little change. Yeah, for sure. Wanted a little change. But anyways, fast forward, junior year come around, all our vibes were going on, and I thought this was a good opportunity. I say, I always wanted, I know scholarship-wise, I had to get a scholarship. I wanted to go college. Otherwise, I'd have to get student loans.
And then that would have been a whole other thing. That's what killing everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Up to this day.
And
loans.
Shout out to my brother and my cousin them, because if them and they make that move first, it kind of show me that the mistakes they made and they didn't take grades serious and they had to deal with out-of-state tuition and all that stuff. I wouldn't have had that foresight to say, hey, I want to go back for make sure one, I know I didn't want to go UVI. I wanted to get out the island.
Okay, yeah. You were done with the idea of St. Thomas on the whole.
I had done with
and ain't nothing wrong with that, People that act like there's something wrong with that, Like, ain't nothing wrong with that,
people from all around the country, them man love their country, them man love their home,
yeah.
but they come to America for opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you come from where we come from, and you see how much parents struggling and how many families struggling, and just my parents from Dominica, that's another third world country. It's rough. If you ever been Dominica, you know that it's rough out there. So
it's rough, but beautiful at the same time. That's the crazy part about it.
One of the most beautiful.
Y'all go back often?
No, I haven't been back since 06. That's when we last went, right? 06.
Let me
I went there after that.
let me bring you guys up
Yeah.
to speed. These guys are cousins.
Yeah.
We all grew up
Yeah.
together in Canton,
Canton.
St. Thomas. And
23-5.
yeah, I 7-B. Use the same
The
thing?
23 for
Yeah,
sure.
because that man had like a big house because that man always been living better than everybody else.
This guy.
They bring that Dominica over. You know what I mean? But and so yeah, there's cousins and we are content is content. So like I know these guys personally. So when we heard them say, "Oh, did we go this or that?" Because yeah, there's family. So
Yeah, definitely. Misconception there, and we're gonna touch on that a little later. But yeah, I mean, long story short, move states. I'm being gonna lie to you. That's why I sell my people. That's why I sell my parents. Should be told, I just wanted to get out. I wanted to see new things. I wanted to be exposed to a new lifestyle.
America TV.
And most of all, I just wanted to get my people in house, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to grow up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good and a bad thing, But being gonna lie to you, everything that I tell them that I wanted to go out there to do, I was able to obtain. I didn't know how,
You mean you didn't know how?
I didn't know. I mean,
You
I didn't
just
have. Let me
said-
put it this way: I didn't necessarily have a step-by-step plan on how I was going to go about it.
Yeah, but you know
But,
that it just
yeah,
went. But
lessons.
the way I see it, you had a plan.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a full thought out plan.
Right.
But at the same time, you knew ultimately that your chances of you making your goals are gonna be higher. Excuse me. If you had leave home, get your scholarship, and went to school, you're a smart guy.
Right.
You know something will gonna come out of it. Your parents are gonna back you 100%. That's kind of a recipe for success.
Yeah, like he
Yeah,
had a vision
definitely.
for his future.
Definitely.
Most kids nowadays they don't take it for granted. Mommy and daddy doing everything for you. You think this is time to party until something happen, and then it's like
Right.
you messing up your goals. You
Right.
fucking up your whole goals. Meanwhile, you see all your peers doing what they gotta do. Now they buying houses,
Right.
getting married. Buying new cars. They're doing things that you should be doing.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't obtain right now.
Yeah.
And you trying to act like you don't know the answer. So
And the biggest thing, the biggest salute was to my people then, because when I originally wanted to move back in 9th grade, they would say, nah, he's our last child, we ain't letting you go no place.
Ah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They didn't want me to leave before graduating high school. And it take about a 15-20 minute conversation for them to say, all right. And they almost challenged me because they say, listen, if that's what you want to do, it sounds like a sound decision. So if you could set it up, if you could first contact your brother and your cousin them and ask them if you could stay, they weren't going to do it for me. So if you could do that, if you could
they
contact
were already
find a
teaching you.
school-
They already teach you to be accountable.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And independent. So
That's
they
cool.
say if you can find a school that you're going to go to and get all of that going on, then we'll just pay for the plane ticket and we could send you out there and you get the opportunity. But I think not just that, I had to show them maturity beforehand. It
Yeah.
wasn't just that moment. You know what I'm saying? So salute to them for trusting in me.
Salute to
believing in me,
parents,
for sure,
man.
For sure. But the funny thing though, like you mentioned with all the people them who probably see other people doing it, there was a lot of people when I say I was moving Bob for my senior year, they were like I was crazy. Because they were so used to everybody graduating that same CHS Chicken Hawks, and I love high school. I love rap.
Yeah.
I love the people them. It was tough leaving all my friend them because it's a brand new
Oh
start.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And a whole
yeah.
new culture. So, that it was tough. But at the same time, I knew making that move from seeing what difference it would have made for my brothers and my cousin them who went before me, understanding that today I could gladly and proudly say that I have no student loans, but yet still have a 4-year degree.
Hey, bro,
in
hey.
finance and etc.
Hey.
Was able to obtain a full ride just for the move. I mean, the state of Florida gives you bright futures just for having a B plus average.
What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
So Florida Bright Futures is a program. I think they still have it. I don't know if they do 100% anymore. But literally, all you have to do was average a GPA of 3 or higher, which equates to about a B or B plus.
B plus.
And they pay 75% of your tuition right off the bat. All you gotta do is apply for it, right?
See, and then
On top of that, they'll pay 100% if you do community service hours. Now, at the same time, when I was a senior, community service, all that resonates to me is free labor, and I want about
trash.
that.
Pick up trash.
I want about that. I
Yeah.
want about the free labor, so I say, no, I'll take the 75%. You know,
Come on.
But luckily for me, UCF is where I apply. I only applied to like 2 or 3 schools in Florida, and luckily
That's a
for
good
me,
school, though.
UCF at the time they weren't even necessarily nationally recognized them.
See, look at that, man. What another thing I had to tell people too is like people to look at time, like in the moment, and be like, man, I ain't getting nowhere. And it's like,
Right.
nah. Sometimes you have to just trust the process and then look back.
Yeah,
We were just talking about it all yesterday. It was like, dude, like, well, when I came up here, cause he blessed me with the idea, and me and Delcy, I decided that's a shout out to the boo. I decided to come up
right.
and do whatever the case is, and he wanted my case the real way. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was like this guy was always a step ahead, but
Yeah.
I knew he was always gonna be a step ahead because he's been up here a longer time than me.
Right.
And I know I could, just like how you lived through Iwan and your cousin them, I would kind of learn through this man the whole way. You check,
Right.
and it's like when you look back at it, like you ain't making no money.
Right. Nah.
I didn't think I had a job for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
I was still getting paid from when I got laid off from my job in St. Thomas.
Yeah.
That couple of months, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just see people come up here and just like fail and give up and leave. I'd be like, dude,
You
it's
know
like,
the biggest reason for that, though? The biggest reason for that is going back to what you were saying. Having some kind of idea or plan. Because one thing I know I won't move in Bob without was a car. One thing I know I won't move in Bob without, because I had visit States couple summers before for little short stints with my brother them in Jacksonville. And that is what it was. Because we stuck in a house. Everybody broke. You can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been catching safari and bus all my life and having to hike a hill all my life.
oh God, you let's
know what I'm
compare.
saying?
Like, not in America. Nah.
America. They dropping you at your doorstep. Them are dropping you at the bottom of the hill.
And then,
you hike
yeah,
that hill, right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I move out, I say last thing I do is catching a bus. And up to this day, I've never catch a bus in the city yet.
And it's just
But,
about, that's just personal goals. It's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
nothing wrong with,
Nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah.
I mean, I caught the bus.
Right. And you gotta do what you gotta
I
do.
catch a bus for a lot
Hey,
of time.
and the thing is, too, I had even like talked myself into realizing that I ain't even gonna rush to get a car because
Right.
my job is right up the street and it's super cheaper to just get on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be for Uber or a thing. You know what I mean? By the end of the day, I used to get around.
Yeah. See,
But-
me, one thing I'd always been is very time sensitive. You know, even in school, I was always time sensitive. I would bullshit up until the last second, but I know exactly what time I need to be in that class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was very time sensitive. So my thing is, I didn't want to run the chances of I gotta go to school, but then I missed the bus and I gotta wait another up here different.
Yeah.
Like you missed the bus and another safari coming right behind.
Yeah,
of it,
that,
you know
that
what I'm
bus
saying?
is like
So-
at least a half an hour
You,
away.
Yeah.
you already
exactly.
know once you miss that bus,
Yeah.
you gonna be here
You're
for a
gonna be
minute.
here for a little minute.
Don't get hopes up. You can't just call time to say come to. Nah, I ain't gonna walk that way.
Yeah.
You're late.
And for me, when I move out here, it's interesting enough. My brother wasn't in a position necessarily to actually take care of me. He had a place where I didn't necessarily have to get a place by myself. That was a huge help. But I still had to go walk when I went in school. You know what I'm saying? So I get my first job at Circuit City. You know,
Circuit City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
them and
remember
them
them
pulls
days,
down
yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
How long
But-
ago? Jeez, you, never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Oh,
that
sorry.
was-
These are OG in this
Yeah,
thing.
long time.
So yeah, I mean, I still had to pay bills in that house. But the good thing about that is that introduced me to adult life before having actually
responsibility.
to be in adult life.
So when you decide that, well, not decide because you had no choice. When you know that you had to take care of yourself and be accountable to your own self, and what did you do other than school? Because I don't know what you majored in, but what did
Right.
you do to like, get yourself to say, you know what, if I can keep progressing,
Right.
I gotta be strict on this, I gotta be strict on that, I gotta be strict on that. Did you do a lot of partying? Did you know how to mix it?
Yeah. I mean, the blessing about coming from rock, you partying from young.
And that's
Yeah,
what I tell
From
people.
young. You know what I'm saying? So
Kind of alter your blood.
you kind of, I mean, you still want to party when you're in college because you watch TV, you watch all these,
The television.
But it's not the
college
same
Hill
urge,
and all
though.
them stuff. But in the same urge, like once you do it, and you do it for a little short period of time, it kind of gets your
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I mean, at the end of the day, it's priorities. I would say that's the number one thing for me, was always knowing what my end game was. In the short term, you know, I mean, I do all the shit everybody does, the bullshit, the partying, the wanting girls, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I always knew one thing I always kept in my mind: if I'm progressing every year, then I regressing.
That's it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
So every year when I had get a job, I remember my sophomore year, because my freshman year, I say I don't want to walk. I want to see how I could balance the studying and see how much free time I have before I go start in a job. But I always knew first I wanted to be an accountant, so I said I was going to school for accounting. And then
I didn't want to do that.
accounting ain't bad, but I started to look. I didn't like school. I mean, despite popular belief, I was always an honor student. Nobody else under that honor. I mean, you know, and that's another thing. That's another thing is our environment that we grew up in. You stupid. Our environment we grew up in, they almost make it uncool to be smart. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's pretty smart.
Yeah, they made it uncool to be smart. So that was something that I was kind of never really brag about or boast about. I just kind of went about business as usual. But anyways, originally my sophomore year when I first get a job at the bank at Wachovia at the time.
That's what's Fargo now.
And then one was Fargo. When I get a job, I always say every year I gotta get a promotion.
That's when I know. That's when I know you were getting into. Okay, this man mean business. When I come compare my boy with a big man in the bank, I say, yeah, I go talk to my banker. Like that's how I'm talking to nigga. I was like, yeah, like I gotta go to the bank, man. I go talk to my banker. That's one of my boy. Them and checking. It's like I say, okay, this dude doing something. Like you say, you don't know, but people were watching.
Right.
I was watching.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You know how much time I used to come to you to come. You remember you used to come over to the crib.
Yeah.
And help us out.
Open all our accounts.
Yeah, everybody account. This dude come over, open everybody account.
Yeah.
Give us our own classes, like mini classes, in all fashion. Because this guy's a dick, no matter how nice and he yakking, he's a dick to his friends. But at the same time,
keep it 100.
Yeah, keep it 100. But at the same time, the guy's very informative, and it's like when this dude talks to you, it's like you learning. Ain't no way that you miss something because unless you just doting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's going good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the funny thing is, if I had never had that job, I'll never understand that it's all an image. It's almost a gimmick. You think these men in the bank making money, but that's when I realized, man, how in the world people feeding kids off of this wage? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, how in the world people, especially single mothers, out here actually raising a family off of these wages? You know, and at that point I was like, I can't do the career thing for life. I don't want to be a career man. And a lot of people might look at it and say,
I just give it a little.
Yeah, everybody might look at it. Everybody might look at it and they say, but you in corporate America, you working in a career field, but that's just an avenue. You know what I'm saying? Before you could get into,
just telling you all
yeah. I mean, you gotta have an avenue. You gotta have a vehicle. You know what I mean? Even athletes, other athletes, notice there's the superstars that are making the $20-30 million a year, but then there's a man them that end up making $5-10 million of their whole career, but yet them athletes who was making $20-30 million a year bankrupt. Them man who making $5-10 million a year,
living
them
good.
man living good. Them man get businesses. Them man get all kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like they get more time to prioritize though. You get caught up if you don't have a good support team as like an athlete. If these athletes are the same ones who begin caught up, is the same ones who are always flashing,
right,
buying up shit. Just you know what I mean, just spending the money stupidly. People like to go, don't pocket watch, blah, 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 blah. Ain't my money. I can say what I want. You know what I'm saying? I can see. I have eyes. So it's like at the end of the day, that's why you are bankrupt, because you were living this NBA life. Right. While a Kawhi Leonard, humble bumble, this guy is the frugal genius. Yeah. This guy driving a 2004 Wrangler or some shit. Like this guy be having the same 6 braids for like 6 months. You know what I mean? It's like
saving money on the braid on my boy.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't get more humble than that, and I salute that. At the end of the day, it's like why have to stunt for how you for?
Absolutely,
you don't.
And that's when you know you're a leader.
Shout out to the Lakers, by the way.
For sure, Laker Nation.
Laker Nation.
But you know that's why you know you're a leader. You know what I'm saying? Because then you don't let the public or your peers kind of lead you down the path that they want you to lead you down, or kind of make you feel bad or insecure about what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to sift a lot of the bullshit that kind of I could cuss on your shit.
Yeah, you
Just to
good,
make-
you good, bro. You good.
You know, just kind of shift. A lot
You
of the
human,
approaches.
man.
Yeah, for sure.
You a dick. I said that
You know,
A few times.
a few times.
you want to be?
They know, they know.
He done told me I'm a dick
Yeah.
about 15 times since I've been.
They know. They know.
But yeah, I mean, long story short, I just always knew my end game isn't to work 20 years and retire, because there's no wealth, there's no, and that's the other thing. Wealth is subjective. What you consider wealth might not be what I consider wealth.
Yes.
That,
You know what I'm saying?
I had to learn that these past couple years.
Right.
Like, I watching myself grow up into like a different person. Like, I couldn't tell myself that 3 years ago.
Right.
Well, a complete different thing.
Yeah.
No.
People confuse wealth and rich.
Yeah.
I mean, rich.
You can have riches.
You could have riches,
Yeah,
but it
and
doesn't
not have
necessarily
wealth.
wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, wealth is a simple equation. As the passive income that you earn overweighs your monthly expenses on a whole. When I say passive, that means you're working. That means your leg broke today and you're still making money.
Making money in your sleep.
In your sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what a
So-
lot of these guys doing.
Right.
A
But
lot.
an athlete, they're only making money as good as long as they
perform.
can perform.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's rich. That man rich.
Especially
Yes.
college.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
them
Sure.
boys get
Yeah.
injured in college.
Right.
Yeah, better been doing your work at school, boy.
Exactly.
Because now your grades matter, because them niggas don't care about you no more.
Exactly.
They
How many
don't.
athletes though retire and then go back to school to get a degree?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
And not to say
Celebrities
that they needed
too.
a lot of celebrities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that they needed a degree, but they may not have set up businesses or whatnot, or they might just do it for fun. Just not necessarily for fun, but just another sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Understanding that, this was something that probably would have made my parents proud, and et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people don't know, halfway through my college years, I wanted to drop out. I wanted to drop out as a student. Probably the dumbest shit I ever did.
That's
You know
like
what I'm saying?
that's like dropping out in
remember.
12th grade
You know what I'm saying? Like,
when you about
call
to
me up.
graduate.
Yeah.
Call me up about it and
Every week I was talking about dropping out, my boy. And the only thing that kept me going is my people. Because I was a first generation graduate at that time.
That's the
You
same
know what I'm
pressure
saying?
I had, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm
You got
saying?
to be that one. You got you got to knock over that whole.
And I know they wanted that big, and I was the last child. I know I had to do that for them, And I thank the Lord that I pushed through at this point, because the education was free. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
And then you
Why
took
not?
advantage. You took advantage. A lot of people
Yeah.
do not take advantage, and then
Exactly.
send their parents broke. Now they disappoint mommy and daddy,
Yeah.
and they just back home rocking 2006 hairstyles and rocking towel tees,
Air Force One.
Air Force Ones. I mean, shout out to Air
that
Force One.
time loop.
Yeah, but you stuck. Like, you stuck now, because now you waste all that time. You went back home. Now it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You letting time go right by you.
Yeah,
You check?
definitely.
But after your banking stint, because I know that lasted you a while, you are getting into some more stuff.
Yeah, I was so I did about 2.5 years in banking all the way. I worked full time at the bank while I was going to school full time. I don't wish that nobody don't do that shit. It's stressful. But I did it because I needed to be able to assist where I can with my people. They couldn't necessarily financially support me on everything that I wanted or needed to do on that time. So I made that sacrifice, and I made sure. That really killed my social life. When I went to school, I was
For the time.
For the time.
But you didn't know that at the
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
You didn't
know
think
what I'm
that at the time.
Right.
Should have seemed like forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just seemed like forever. Now you look back, you're like, why did it blow past?
And then time blowing past now.
Exactly.
But I feel if time going fast, it's because you're doing better.
Right. Just a lot of blessings, man, because before I graduated, I had to do an extra semester because I was a couple credits short.
Okay.
And I had to do an extra semester.
How much you needed?
I needed like 6 or 8 or 6 or 8 or something like that.
So how much more time worth of work is that?
Just like 3 classes.
Okay.
So about 3 classes. What happened is one of the years they had cut my scholarship because I had taken 1 credit hour less than I was supposed to. I wasn't aware at the time. That's what first pushed me into my job, because now I had to pay a little bit out of pocket.
So you needed it.
You know what I'm saying? But not just
But
that.
you
I was
did
tired
what
of
you had to
living.
do.
Exactly. And I was tired of living with people, because my first couple of years I was living with some college students, and their lifestyles are a lot
Everyone them
different.
boys there.
Their lifestyles are a lot different, man.
But see,
You know,
that's exactly who we talking about.
Yeah.
That man who living that life, wasting the
Yeah,
parents' money got in yours.
Right.
You didn't do shit to have that money unless you were
Exactly.
born into it, and it's still in yours.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, people that think college time is time to play.
Yeah. And
Like-
there's a lot of play in there. You want to take advantage of that. You want the biggest thing for college, really and truly, it ain't really the books. It ain't the classes. Is the social connection,
The experience.
the experience, the understanding how to learn how to interact with the people from a lot of different backgrounds. You know, growing up on St. Thomas, it's funny. I was telling my cousin this couple of weeks ago. I say, listen, it's funny growing up. At one point, as a naive, ignorant young black dude, I thought we were the majority. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's all we see.
that's all I
Yeah.
see.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Who else
So-
out here?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
at one point I thought in America we were the majority. You know?
And then you come up
then
here.
you come up here and I went to UCF and in all my classes my freshman year I could probably only find one other black
Oh
student.
yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and
And
the teacher-
then that one black student you find don't even act like you.
Exactly.
Nope.
They don't act like you. So it's like you still alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to start adapting to them to either enjoy your experience or just be fucking miserable.
Exactly. And that's what I send a lot of people back home. I guess.
Yeah.
Because they can't make that
Yeah.
transition.
And then they say they homesick is because they want to be around their people, but
Yeah.
it's like you got to put that shit to the side, man. It's just for time.
Yeah, definitely.
I almost didn't even leave St. Thomas.
Right.
It took a lot for me to leave. Because when it was time to leave, I was like, wow.
This is it. This is it. No
We
one
run
next.
out of excuses.
No one next, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. It was like you go down the street, you see the same thing you know every day. All your boy them playing ball, you know that about to be done. My mother showed zero emotion. I didn't know how to feel about that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know she did, like she feel that
So try
way.
and be strong.
She was strong because she didn't show nothing. You know what I mean? I was over there with a little lump in my throat, but
Yeah.
I tried to play. But she was like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's moms, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hang on. It was rough leaving for the first time.
Yeah,
for real,
man. But that's something you get over.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it,
For
man.
sure. I mean, for me, it was what made it a little easier is I started to realize that although I could joke around and talk shit and go to the jam them and all of it, everything, all of we to do, but my mind went a different place. I started to left my peers behind a little bit as far as mentality and what I wanted. They didn't want the same things. And
That's how you just separate.
you know, a lot of people afraid, not only afraid, but probably don't have the confidence in themselves to let those people go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exchange their friendships.
They
Build
don't
new
want to
ones.
be looked at a certain way.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And me, I never had no beef. I never have no let friends go in no bad way. It's just that we grow apart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just communicate less and less and less because we busy over here doing what we gotta do. They're busy over there doing what they gotta do.
Once your
And-
focus shift, you know,
Yeah,
and
when-
then if they don't align with that, then you can naturally drift
Just
away from
drift
them.
away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what happens
That's
to
how
us.
that happens.
But
ain't
And
no
some
love
people,
lost.
Ain't no love now,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
they don't misconstrue the message. though.
Exactly. Yeah. Some
You
of
know what I
them.
mean? And then
And that's how you
sometimes
you the real from
you
the
become
fake.
the bad guy for no
Exactly.
reason.
Exactly.
But-
But you can't let that stop.
But
you.
we don't
No.
want to. We don't want to send the wrong message. I ain't telling you that you must
Not at all.
leave St. Thomas. That's not what I'm saying.
There's a lot of opportunities on St.
Yeah, but you know by in your own self that if that's the decision you need to make or not, you know it because I knew it.
Right.
They
I
just
gotta
need
let-
to know it's okay to leave.
Yeah, it's all right. Even if you feel like you could catch yourself, you just have to. This is why I have all hair and quarter hair because they lived it, obviously. You know, I mean, they've been through it. They done fall down a few times. They done get back up a few times, obviously. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody progressing, everybody doing all right. You know what I mean? And it's like ain't nothing to stunt to nobody. Believe in yourself. Take a chance. If not, do what you're doing home. Don't waste your time home. Cause what would you tell to the audience that's home?
Right.
That you know that they can't leave right now, so they gotta do what they gotta do at home. They get UVI.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the biggest thing I could tell them is one, whatever you do it for you, man. Don't do it for nobody else. At the end of the day, this is your life.
Yeah,
so
bro.
don't look for approval from anybody else. I mean, you definitely want your loved ones to be on board, but if you know for sure that it's right for you, sometimes you gotta go against the grain and you gotta just take that leap of faith. And yeah, you might fall. You know what I'm saying? But nothing beats a trial but a failure.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey.
if you don't
Hey.
try, you definitely like Colby said, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
take, man.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
Yeah.
this is a prime example because everybody who follow me know that this been the chatter.
Right.
This been the talk. We had this chatter behind the scenes years ago. Years ago, right? I always been an idea, but it's like, I know myself. I know I didn't want to jump right into it.
Right.
The resources wasn't right. The time wasn't right. But see, everybody, like all my people here, everybody's family. The camera guy is family, content. The guy for the studio, that's family, content. This guy been gone for. You've been here, he probably been gone for way longer than that.
Yeah.
From the time I watched it, this man was gone. But you see, that's how things will work. Everybody here doing it for the same cause, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it's time. You don't look at the time while you there. You just walk through the process.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing
You
because
walk through the process.
everything that I set out to accomplish, it may have came, but definitely didn't come when I wanted it to. The timing was all up to the man above, but he delivered nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, to go back to your point earlier, as far as what I would tell them, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities in St. Thomas, and we live in a generation that entrepreneurship is a big, big, big deal. Nobody don't want to work for nobody else, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
I wish that was a big thing when we were growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Wish they would have teach us.
I wish they had teach us that, at least talk
Yeah.
about it and encourage. It's interesting that me and my parents just had this conversation the other day. They came and visit me, and both of them happened to be self-employed, but neither of them
That's like
pushed
the
me to
best
be
thing that
self-employed.
you could be coming up
You
on
know what
that.
I'm saying? But you would think so. But neither of them actually were pushing me to be self-employed.
Also-
Both of them was pushing me to go to college, and it ain't
And
their
that's
fault.
wrong. But it ain't their fault, 'cause that's what they come into.
Exactly.
But if they had the mentality of, I work here for my last name. If I get this man set up now,
Right.
he could continue this.
Right.
But they ain't thinking about that.
Right, exactly.
They going out, but see,
Because when
that's
they were
how.
growing up, higher education
College,
was
college,
the
college.
goal, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't their fault. You know what I'm saying? But it's I just thought it was funny that was a situation. They both were self-employed, able to make their own schedule, able to make their own money. And it may not look like an appealing job to them. I mean, to the public. But to them, they understood they were making more than people who was dressing up in suits and dressing up in nice clothes, going to work in the jewelry store. In
time, they know they are affording this.
Right.
They're affording that, they could do this.
For sure.
And you know what I mean? And they ain't working for nobody, you know what I'm saying? And that's.
So now you gotta ask yourself, don't try and judge yourself. One thing I hate about the school system, they don't make people feel like they dumb or unintelligent because they get bad grades. That's just not your field. Academics just ain't where you're at. But at the end of the day, how high of a level of education do you really need to do what you gotta do in this world? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you have a skill, if you're real good at something, we got
the dumbest celebrities in the world, but they're good at something.
Exactly.
And people paying for your time.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stop this real quick. We're gonna take a pause for the cars right quick. We're gonna shout out some of the sponsors, and we're gonna get back right to you. Island Time Radio. Welcome to Island Time Radio, brought to you by Liquid Cash and Solely Responsible Kicks. Liquid Cash, a fast and confidential way to pay and send money worldwide for free. You can find them at www.getliquidcash.com and download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Also, Solely Responsible Kicks, where you can satisfy all your sneaker shopping needs. You can find them at www.sr_kicks.com and follow them on Instagram and Twitter at sr_kicks. Now back to the show. Alright guys, welcome back to Island Time Radio. Woo! We're gonna go back to all. We're gonna get back to all, man. We had left off where you had get into the bank industry, for lack of better term. And what else happened? Like what else did you do after that? Because I know you did a lot more after that.
Yeah, definitely. So right after I graduated from UCF, I got my first job in mortgage underwriting.
Where?
Mortgage underwriting. So mortgage underwriting, pretty much in simpler terms, you want to buy a house, you submit a mortgage application to the bank.
Okay.
Pretty much my position was to review your application and see if this is a good loan or not. So I put the approval and denial on it. So pretty much.
You was the guy that
were that
hot
guy.
hearts.
I was the dick.
You were that
right?
guy.
You was the guy that break hearts.
The beauty of it is the guys that when I first got my job, it was up in Jacksonville. That's the only job extension I got out of college. Funny story is my interview was actually the day before graduation. So it was the only job that I landed right out of the bank, right out of college. So I moved up to Jacksonville within a week.
Okay.
So started doing mortgage
Well,
underwriting.
that's when you were in Jacksonville for
Yeah.
that
For that
little
little
period of
stint.
time. Okay.
And started doing mortgage underwriting. Got my introduction into the mortgage industry, to the real estate industry, and I realized this is what America was built off.
And then I see this dude like,
You know.
whoa, where are you going?
So
Taking off.
yeah, after that, what a lot of people don't know is after that job, the mortgage industry went through a tough time again, where interest rates went up, and whenever interest rates rise, that means that that's the money you pay on top of your mortgage, right? So it ain't just the
The money
principal,
plus.
the money plus. You know, so they lend you $150,000, you pay a 4% interest. That's money on top of your $150,000. But before I get into that, what a lot of people don't know is, and that job, that was the first time I ever experienced a layoff. Not because I wasn't performing, not because I wasn't doing my job on a day-to-day basis, but it's my first introduction to the corporate America. When you hear about Ford Motors having to lay man off because of the auto industry going down, and you hear about all these layoffs going off, I was able to get I was exposed to that same thing, and for the first time in my life, I was told, not necessarily I wasn't good enough, but I wasn't needed. You know, and that definitely was tough to swallow. But in the same token, I was asking for it every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day I'd hate my job to the point because I felt like I was performing and other people was getting paid more than I was getting paid, and they weren't performing at the same level.
Yeah.
You know, and that's corporate America. At first you think it's just this company, but once you have been in corporate America,
You know
worked in
it's-
it, you start to realize that's the trend. A lot of times people are loyal to that one company, and they work there 10, 15 years, and they realize people continue to come in, and you got to teach them the job, but yet they're getting paid more than you.
Yes.
So that was my first lesson. And when I get laid off, it was a blessing in disguise, because I had missed Orlando. They gave me an opportunity to move back to Orlando. And immediately after I got laid off, I already know I wanted it. I say, you know, I want to work for myself. I want to try working for myself.
Uh-huh.
So I went and get my real estate license.
Boom.
That's simply a 63-hour class. Take a test in the class, then take a test for the state, and you get your real estate license. At
It's
that
not
point,
as hard as it seems.
It's not as difficult. I mean, the passing the test is a little difficult.
Okay.
You know, you definitely got to apply yourself and study. You can't take it like any old regular test. But nonetheless, they have about a 50% success rate as far as passing the test.
So once you do what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to pass.
Yeah, you're supposed to pass. As long as you apply yourself, you're supposed to pass. Once you pass, trust me, there's a lot of dummies that pass that test and in the real estate market. You know, so
And you would know, of course.
yeah, I mean, I definitely work among some of them. So, but nonetheless, you know, got into the real estate business, and that was very interesting because one, I was able to show myself that what it's like working for yourself, what it's like when no one else is telling you what time to come in, what time to get off, what time to go to lunch, and all those different things. It exposed me to what having control of your own business, but it also exposed me to when someone ain't guaranteeing you a paycheck every Friday or every other Friday, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? When you only eating and living off of this, it's tough. Because then you get desperate.
Yeah. And do some
and
crazy stuff.
But nonetheless, it was a great experience because it showed me for my future endeavors what needs to be done, what kind of schedule and discipline you have to have. Because now only you can wake up yourself in the morning and get out there and grind. You know, but I had a lot of experiences, a lot of disappointments, a lot of failures, but a lot of successes. And from that, like I said, the ultimate blessing is that today, fast forward, what it is, 2 years since, fast forward, I was able to purchase my first house, you know, and
Shout out to
for
this
me,
guy.
Yeah,
Shout out to
you know,
this
I
guy.
mean, for me, that was a big accomplishment.
That is a big accomplishment for me.
But it
For
was
you.
also, as funny story is, a lot of people applauded, but it's also a disappointment for me because that was actually a goal of mine at 21. I tried at 21. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? When I was working at Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
And my goal was to really own 3 houses by 25.
Oh, you had
You know what
some
I'm saying?
big goals,
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, that's my ultimate vision was to, and it still is, to have investment properties, and that's my retirement plan as of now. That could change at any moment. But
Yeah.
that's my passion. That's my vision is real estate. I understand. If you think about any athlete or any millionaire, billionaire, whatever, their money is invested in real estate. And some way, some fashion, doctors, lawyers, that's their vehicle.
come back to this.
But their money is invested in real estate. Their passive income comes from real estate. So that's why when the real estate market crashed, the American economy crashed with it. You know what I'm saying?
So it went with everybody with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have people's pensions and all that stuff was invested in mortgage-backed securities, which
That's like, is that like a normal thing though? Like,
What's that?
in the course of time for it to crash?
Well, it's cyclical. So you're definitely gonna have its ups and downs. As far as
Cyclical.
yeah,
It's cyclical.
You know, it definitely
is
gonna
cyclical.
have its ups
New
and
Orleans.
downs.
Cyclical. Everybody repeat after me. Cyclical.
Cool. There you go.
All right.
We got a bouncy ball.
All right.
There.
Cyclical. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's definitely to see what happened in those years between 04 and 08, and then when it crashed in 08, that part of it shouldn't be happening, and now they have swung the pendulum from one side to the next, because back then it was so easy to get a mortgage. You could have walked into a branch in a bank and say, hey, I want to buy a house. I just see it for sale. I want $250,000. I had to make this much a year and this. And they won't ask for any income documents. They won't ask for any asset statements as bank statements. They won't ask for none of that. As long as your credit met a certain score, they say approved. Go ahead and buy your house. So you had people that were buying houses with two, 3 houses in a span of 2 years straight off of stated income. You know what I'm saying? Now, back in about 2012, they inducted all these laws with the Dodd-Frank Act, where banks could no longer lend a loan unless they meet all of this criteria.
So they got to go
So
check
heavy doc loans, meaning that they have to verify everything that you state. If you say you make $30,000, $50,000, $80,000 a year, you need to provide income docs to show I make that much. If you say I have $20,000 in a bank for down payment or whatever, you have to be able to show I have $20,000 in the bank. So, I mean, now it's a fully doc loan that has made it even that much more difficult to get a mortgage, to purchase a home. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't impossible. It ain't impossible for sure.
I mean,
but at the end of the day, it's 1, discipline, and 2, a plan. You have to have a plan. And you can't wake up one day and say, man, I'm tired of renting. In 3 months, I'm going to buy a house.
It ain't gonna work so.
It ain't going to work so.
That's a bad plan.
Yeah, that's a bad plan. I mean,
foundation crackly.
absolutely.
That place gonna crumble.
The biggest advice for anybody looking to buy a house, the biggest advice, 1, you want to go ahead and submit a mortgage application, even if you're ready to buy a house today. The biggest misconception, first of all, a lot of people fail. Because every time I tell someone, go submit a mortgage application, the first thing they'll say, man, they gonna pull my credit, they're gonna hurt my score.
Yeah.
Listen, 1 credit pull ain't gonna hurt your score. If you're going out there to JCPenney's, Macy's, auto dealership, mortgage company, and pulling your credit every month,
Buying nonsense,
that's gonna kill your credit score. But if you just get 1 credit pull, that's not gonna kill your credit score. You're gonna see it bounce a little bit, but your credit score gonna bounce regardless if you do nothing or not. You know. But if you submit a mortgage application with a mortgage banker or a broker, and you talk and you have that conversation with them, even if you can approve for that loan that day, they're going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to be able to get approved for that loan. If it's 6 months, 12 months, or whatever, but they're going to give you a plan. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do.
So
But
our plan is first.
you got to have a plan, because for me, even being in the real estate industry, there was still some challenges. 1, being a realtor at the time, I was considered self-employed. So if I wanted to purchase a home, 1, I need to show 2 years history of receiving self-employed income. You know what I'm saying? That means you got to be in a business for 2 years minimum.
Yeah.
To even be considered.
To even be considered. Secondly, not to be considered, but to count your income.
Okay.
Secondly, you have to be making money for the 2 years.
Couldn't have been losing.
Right? You couldn't be losing. You couldn't be reporting a loss. And hey, most people don't go in the real estate industry within 12 to 18 months they're out. Because, like I said, it takes time to build a pipeline in order to have recurring transactions, and so that you only get paid when you sell.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different variables on when you actually get paid or actually close a deal. I mean, you're talking about 30 to 45 days of everything that can go wrong will go wrong. You know what I'm saying, in that situation. So that was
for hell.
So number 1, if you're W-2 wage, meaning that if you work for a company, you get a paycheck. You know, that's the best route, because you don't necessarily have to show 2 years continuance. You do have to have 2 years employment history, but not specifically with that job. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in that field. So if he's a mechanic, you work for this one company, and then now you say I'm going to work for Nissan or whatever. You could switch job even a month before you actually apply for a mortgage loan, but because you have history in that field, they're going to still consider your income for that mortgage application.
Yeah.
So first thing is income. and not just income, but your debt to income ratio. So when I know a lot of people have heard the words debt to income ratio, and they're like, "What's that?" At the end of the day, that's what you owe divided by what you get monthly. So if you pull your credit report, you're gonna see Amex card or Bank of America credit card or whatever, $25.
Okay.
You're gonna see whatever your minimum payment is. You're definitely you're gonna see all these monthly payments. They're gonna just total all of that up and divide it. Say you make $3,000 a month, they're gonna divide it by $3,000. And based on that debt to income ratio, they're gonna let you know if you approve or denied or how much you could actually qualify for. You know what I'm saying? So first thing you need is income. You have to be working.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Two, you need to have good credit. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of credit. People hate credit, and the only thing they can think about is credit cards. You know,
So
credit is much more than just credit cards. Credit, at the end of the day, the best definition of credit is it is your history of paying people back.
Yeah.
So it's
Simply
pretty much your
put,
trustworthiness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Can we trust you?
Can we trust you to pay us
That's
our
pretty
money
much the weight of your name.
back? Exactly. You know, exactly. So if you're anything else other than pride, you need to make sure you pay your bills. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
You don't want to be labeled as the guy who don't pay his bills.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
So essentially, everybody starts with pretty much no credit, you know. But it's easier to is a better position to have no credit than to have bad credit, because bad credit now you got repaired.
See, I heard
You know what I'm
different.
saying?
They're saying all that's the same stuff.
No, definitely not. With good credit, with no credit, all that means is that we need to get you credit, meaning that we need to get you
Get you going.
active credit cards. We need to get you installment loans, if it's a car loan or whatever the case may be. But
And give you a chance.
and give
Yeah.
and just not just giving you a chance, but starting that history. Because at the end of the day, if you're not showing that, hey, you could give me money and I could pay on a monthly basis, then they don't know who you are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's better to not know who this person is, because he still have an opportunity to show me that he could be a good, trustworthy person, than to already shown that you're not trustworthy. Because not just in financial life, but in personal life, once somebody breaks that trust, it's easier to gain your trust first. Once they break that trust, it's harder for them to regain that trust, right?
Yeah,
you gotta
yes.
walk. They gotta start making trust deposits into that trust.
and they're gonna be
Definitely.
hard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
hard.
I was watching them on sideways.
Yeah, like this nigga again.
And that look, you know what that look is? A 10% interest rate.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that.
I was like, you know what? You ain't even gonna waste my time. 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because how it works is, a lot of the times, if you ever notice, you ever heard of what amortization or what that is? So pretty much, when you take a loan,
What?
amortization.
Amortization.
Yeah. So amortization.
Amortization.
So pretty much what that means is, over the course, I lend you $150,000.
Okay.
Say, let's break it down to the simpler term. I lend you $10,000. I tell you I want you to pay me back that $10,000 in a fixed installment payments over the course of 5 years.
Which
Right.
one? Okay, so you're breaking that down.
So you pretty
Yeah,
much be
yeah.
divided in many months.
Okay.
It takes. However, I say, why are you paying me back that $10,000? Because I lend you this money and I allowed you to be able to purchase that car so you could get to work and whatever it is you need to do. I want you to pay me, say, a 5% interest rate on top of the 10%. That ain't just 5% times 10,000. That's 5% compounded over the whole term. What that means is they're charging you that percentage monthly
Yeah.
on your remaining balance.
Come
You know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah.
So the idea
Taking out
is
one big charge.
That's
the
a
idea
stash
is-
of
Little charges.
yeah, exactly. So the idea is you gonna pay me a profit on the money first before your principal or your balance you owe me
God.
Yes.
over. You know what I'm saying? So
That
it's
man,
awesome.
that man in the office like, yeah.
You know, and ain't even that. That's a misconception. Is that's only fair, because at the end of the day, you would have to been catching bus, or you would have to been doing whatever you had to do to get from.
And I'm allowing you 5 years to pay me back.
Exactly.
Okay.
But at the end of the 5 years,
So it have a silver lining in it.
absolutely, because
Yeah.
at year 2 you could say, man, I ain't paying the same back
Exactly.
anymore, and now I out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So before I out, and I need to make some kind of money on this, because why was I so generous to give you $10,000 over 5 years? You know how long 5 years is?
Yeah,
for me to
that's
get that
like
money
a
back.
while.
You know what I'm saying?
And I
if
still have to
didn't-
check up on you and be like, so,
Right?
Yeah,
how we
exactly.
doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where my money is a second.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're doing the fuss.
Come on, now, we had an agreement, man. We had an agreement.
So I
Jimmy.
mean, number 2 is credit, man. I mean, credit is so important. A lot of people don't understand. You don't have to use your credit cards. You just have to have them active. You know what I'm saying?
See, man,
Yeah.
I made a mistake, bro. When I had mine, I decided that I was tired of dealing with the bill.
Right.
So I had the money to kill it, you check, and
Yeah.
I was like, I gonna get back to it, but
Right.
nobody didn't tell me that. Nah, you can't do that.
Right.
Leave it. No, nobody didn't tell me that.
Right.
They're like, yeah, just kill the heck and
Yeah.
go back to it. Nah.
You
That
know
ma-
the beauty about credit cards, man. As much as I know about credit cards, I still use it in a very set system. I only use money on a credit card that I have cash to pay it back.
and
what I
that's,
mean
and
is
that's
I
like
opt-
that's your guideline.
That's my guideline. I only use a credit card if I have the money already to pay it back. I don't use the credit card in hopes of getting money later on to pay that credit card off, because a lot of people think that's their money, that ain't your money. That's the bank's money.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
and if you don't plan on making that payment,
They gonna make
and
you
you're
pay.
gonna exactly you're gonna never make the payment. So, credit cards, how I use it, the best way to use a credit cards is why you don't pay every month anyways.
Bills, gas.
Bills, right? Gas,
Groceries.
cell phone. Why not use your credit card? You're gonna pay that money anyways. That's money you're gonna
Whether
pay
it come with
anyways.
your pocket or
You know what
not.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Use that credit card just to show activity, just to show some kind of history that
And
I
there's
could
a
pay
lot of
bills.
rewards with these cards too.
Exactly.
You got a lot of good
The
rewards
bank's
and
giving you
perks.
free points, free
Yeah.
cash back, all that stuff,
On,
just
like,
to use their
every
card.
But
purchase.
see, you know,
Stuff,
black,
yeah.
you know, black people don't read the fine print.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, yeah, we getting the money, save.
Right.
They ain't worrying about the cash, but they ain't worrying about the incentives.
Right.
I just realized, like, myself, like, I ain't trying, like, you know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I gained back all of this extra stuff because I actually, like, ran into something. I rent a car the other day. I said, let me get a little, I don't know what they call it, but it's like, instead of, like, going into the actual airport, I could just drive upstairs, and I would have never do that if I rent a car the other day.
Yeah. I mean,
But, you know, she took the time. She didn't have to.
right.
But she took the time and explained to me, it's free. It takes you like 2 minutes. Let's get us out of the way.
Well, first step we gotta do as people is have more of an open mind, because all the time we're skeptical. From time
All
we,
the time we skeptical.
Yeah, all the time. So-
Somebody else trying to get all money.
Right, exactly. We
You
are
try-
like,
you're
what-
trying
what's
to
the
be
catch?
quota.
Yeah, exactly. What's the catch? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it is a catch, but a lot of times it's just free information, because the way corporations and banks build trust and make money is getting loyal customers. The more you can give free, the more knowledge you can give free, the more loyalty you have. The more loyalty you have, the more you're gonna come to us. We're gonna be the first start.
Yeah.
If I want to get an auto loan, the first thing I go
Yeah,
is
man.
my bank.
Cause you know
what I'm
people
saying?
is
They
like,
teach you so much. And
Exactly.
we got a little lawyer to get us out of bed, and now we feel like, that's my lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, see, we're just talking about this, right? My boy got his bad chain, right? My boy used to be from Lang, how long?
From like 06.
06, my boy be like, my jeweler. It was just the chain, man, before, you know, but since my boy get a bad piece, I gotta go check my jeweler. You know, that's how we the roll.
Yeah.
That's how we the roll for real. You gonna go right back to that man to go do everything.
The
I know
man
I
make
would.
all of my pieces. Man.
Exactly. Like
So
a barber.
so
Like a
only if
barber.
you can apply those same logics to any business you start up. If it's St. Thomas, if it's States, wherever. If you apply those same type of methodology, that's what a lot of times they kill a lot of startups. Is that we don't understand the marketing aspect of it and how to get customers and how to capture customers, etc., etc. But I mean, getting back to the purchasing a home thing.
Yeah.
Outside of income, outside of credit, and credit is a whole nother class, so we can get back to that later. But you have to have the down payment and you have to have the closing costs in order to put on a house. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta be ready, bro.
you gotta be ready. You can't just, like I said, you can't just wake up one day and say I'm gonna buy a house. You gotta be preparing, and you gotta understand. That's why I say go to a mortgage broker first. From the time you say I want to buy a house, you want to go to them first, because they're gonna tell you, all right, what price range you looking at. One, they're gonna tell you if you could even afford it. Because if you can't afford it,
Then it
deal
don't
done.
make sense.
Deal done.
Why are we
You know what I'm
talking?
saying? Yeah, exactly. So one, they're gonna say, well, maybe you shouldn't be looking at $200,000 range. Maybe we should be looking in the $150,000 range. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the worst thing while I was in real estate, still in real estate, I do it more on a part-time basis, because now I actually work for a mortgage company again, doing mortgage services. So So I do both.
Still in the business.
Still, yeah, definitely still in the business. Still selling houses. You know, helping one of our friends right now. We are purchasing a home. Yeah. So I mean,
that was dope.
Who
Yeah,
that?
for
Who
sure.
that? Who that?
you know,
Who that?
huh?
Who that?
We don't name drop. We don't put that business.
We don't name drop.
Yeah, we ain't
I'll tell me after. Tell me
we'll
after.
tell you after, man. But yeah, I mean,
I feel left out.
but I mean,
just a little bit. Just a little bit. I feel a little left out.
you know, but ultimately, that's what it's about, though, because at the end of the day, this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing as a buyer. When you deal, a lot of people skeptical about dealing with a realtor. As a buyer, you don't have to pay the realtor anything most of the time. I ain't gonna say never. Most of the time, I talk about 90% of the time, you're gonna have to pay your realtor as the buyer, because who pays my checks is the seller. I brought a buyer to the table to purchase your home that you're selling. You're not only paying your agent. Ultimately, you're paying your agent the full commission. Your agent is who's splitting it with me, because he's saying, "Hey, I would have never sell this house if you didn't bring this buyer." So we're gonna split the commission. So as a buyer, the realtor is almost at your mercy. There is free help. You can't go to no lawyer and say I'm gonna have free help. I mean, obviously, a lawyer can be appointed to you. You get a public defendant.
And then you
don't care
but-
about you, Dad.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
You don't even have a name.
You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna doctor that's doing community service in that level where they just saying I'm gonna operate on you for free.
Nah,
You know, somebody else
they
will
don't
pay
want
my
so.
bills. Nah. So I mean, but as a realtor, a professional, able to advise you and protect your interests, but you don't even have to pay him. And that's the biggest misconception. People say you try to offer your business to them and they say nah, and they won't tell you it's because of money, but you don't know there's a catch. You're gonna charge me a fee someplace. But in most cases, if you're the buyer and you're purchasing a home, your realtor is free to you. You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's something that, yep.
some people, some realtors out there, depending on what price ranges they're in or depending on what other services they offer, they might say, hey, I'll charge you a transaction fee of this much, which is you could pay at closing. You don't pay that up front. So only way you pay me is if I find you a house.
And we done with
Yeah,
it.
and we purchase this home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's case by case. But for the most part, the realtor as a buyer, unless you're buying a house that say ain't listed on the market, it's privately sold, that's a different story. But as long as you're purchasing a home that's on the market or a new construction home,
Yeah.
they're free to you. You know what I'm saying? So why not tap into that knowledge? You know, but at the end of the day, it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of planning, but it ain't impossible. And it ain't a long journey as long as you always keep that in the back of your mind. You know, I mean, if you say for instance you're moving from St. Thomas and you're saying 5 years.
So that's like a good gap to say 5.
No, it don't have to be. It all depends on why you coming with. What kind of artillery you coming with. If you're coming from wherever you're coming from and
With the big guns.
and you already have a good job lined up, now you're only missing 2 items: credit and savings. If you can find a way to save money or capital, for me, the only way I was able to do it in the time frame that I was able to do it after finding a W-2 job again, meaning that after I was in real estate full time and I went back to W-2 work, the biggest way for me to obtain that savings was to continue to work the real estate business, because those checks was now extra income. Not income I needed to survive on.
That's just extra money
That's
to
just
play
extra
around
money.
with.
So I
And
just
you ain't
popped
playing with
outside.
it. And you ain't playing with it.
I ain't going out there saying, I get a little $2,000, let me go blow that in. You know what I'm saying? I just popped that aside until I was able to save enough. And really in this market, if you could save a good anywhere between, and there's a lot of programs, first time home buyer programs and all those stuff.
Like when you say save, like you know, that's like the easiest thing in the world to say to somebody, save your money. But a lot of people find it hard to save their money. Before you go back into what you were saying, like how would you tell the people listening, like, you know what I'm saying, like they have different do you think have different ways to save your money?
I think the first step is to know who you are. I mean, you have to know.
Definitely.
You gotta know who you are. If you are not someone who knows, not just knows how to save, but can save, meaning that you are impulse buyer, you need to get somebody else to save the money for you. If you are someone who you don't feel like you have the discipline in order to park money in an account and say that account is invisible to me, I don't think it exists, then you need to get somebody else to save on your behalf. Meaning that you may have to get your spouse or your girl or your mother to
somebody
set up
you trust,
someone you trust, and say, okay, every time I get paid, I just want to give you this $200 And I don't want you to give it to me absolute
Until like when
unless it's an emergency or until I hit this number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you have to understand yourself. A lot of people say, "Nah, me want to give my money to nobody. I want to make sure I hold it."
But then you're gonna spend it.
But then you're just gonna spend it. You're just
Yeah.
gonna blow it because
You're
it's
not
there.
responsible.
You know
You
what
gonna
I'm
see them. You gonna see them $1,500 jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
You know them
For who,
bombing
though?
jeans.
You know what I'm saying? For who?
Yeah,
I'd buy $50 jeans that look just as good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
Yep.
And I would thought. I mean, come on, man. It's like I haven't like went crazy in the mall in a long ass
Right.
time. For what?
For what?
I go to work every day.
Exactly.
Every day.
Exactly.
So it's like I may go out once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have something in the cut. But you see, you gotta keep something for whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like you messing up your future.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize is you could still look good and look expensive without spending the money. If you look at these people who,
But this boy be shopping.
I mean,
Sharp boy.
When he try them suits.
And he ain't kinda sticking out, he be sharp. But at the end of the day, you see what he telling
hey,
you
but
right
I had a
now?
only shop on sale.
Hey,
I only
hey,
shop on sale.
Of course.
hey,
keep it
Aubrey
real.
would be proud. Shout out to Aubrey,
Yeah.
man.
I mean,
What about the kicks?
kicks? I don't even buy sneakers no more, my
No
boy.
J's?
No J's.
Shout out to solely responsible kicks. Jay,
Yeah.
we got converting, man. Cause he gotta support you, man.
I ain't getting no J's. I don't buy J's. No, I mean, you look right up here. I ain't even know what these is, my boy. They just look good in the store, and I say, let me
Yeah.
cop them. I had a shop at DSW now. You know what I'm saying? And they always get shoes under $100, under $50 sometimes. I just cop a pair of poles.
So sometimes you just need to swallow your pride.
Yeah, yeah.
Be like your mama, man. Your mama say, man, you have this. This is what we have, and you used to make it work.
If it
Make
look
it
good,
work.
if
Be
it
an
look
adult
good to me,
more.
we good. Yeah, exactly.
All these rappers and these celebrities, they'll pick up whatever they want and make it work, and then you'd like it. So it's like, why you
Yeah.
can't do the same thing? Be yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you're confident in who you are and don't let other people impact what you're going to do or what you're going to be, then you feel more comfortable doing that. You know what I mean? Stepping out of that comfort zone and just saying, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest challenge I think growing up I've seen for a lot of guys is you talk to them in private and there's a whole different person than when they get around the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now they're trying to sell an image. They're trying
Cut
to
that shit out, man.
Cut it out. And at the end of the day, we could do better as a supporting cast, as brothers and sisters. Because at the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters. We come from the
Come on, man.
same backgrounds. We could do a better job in encouraging the
Instead
talents
of
instead of chastising them. Man. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's more like a cultural thing too,
Yeah,
man. Like
yeah.
home, I just feel like it's the thing. If you see somebody new come up with something, it's the thing to
This them. Man.
Trash it
Bash
quick.
it until it walk.
yeah, until somebody give it the cosign
Yeah.
or you see it walking, it's like okay.
Yeah.
I was just playing.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that it's just embedded in us. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they don't even mean it. Like they be like, this man is shit, but they listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that shit you got cut out too.
Yeah, for sure.
You have
and
to
I
cut
don't.
that.
I just don't know how you fix it at this stage. I don't know how you necessarily fix
Man,
it. out.
you
Like
know,
said, it's
you-
a cultural. It's a cultural
Yeah, but you know
difference
you
and-
doing wrong. You still know, man.
Right.
You know. You know
Exactly.
you don't have to act like that.
Right.
You know what I'm
for
saying? But let me ask you another question about saving. A lot of the times, two people don't realize the little things like run into if you need to take money at your account, right? You run into any place you go and you just paying them fees.
Right.
People don't realize them fees that add up. Right? Little things like that. Going to like a Western Union to send money.
Right.
You got to pay this fee instead of waiting, whatever. Little things like if you live in a lifestyle like that, that could contribute into you messing your money up.
For sure. I mean, it's all about, again, being organized. For me, I'm a big budget. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else have to see me budget.
No.
Nobody else see me budget. No one see me have carrying a book and writing
That's
down.
a key though.
Yeah, but it's
Because
key.
you have to budget.
Yeah, because if you don't budget, you don't know how much you're spending versus how much you're
Man,
saving.
I'm guilty because
don't know.
sometimes you open up your bank up. Like, man, I know I had a little crazy week.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes you don't spend as much as you think, but then a lot of times like, damn,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money.
You know, the biggest thing for me is I remember when I was walking on Wells Fargo in college, and my college friends them used to always hit me up and say, "Yo, let's go to the club. It's Friday, whatever the case." I used to be like, yeah, I want to go bad, but I broke. And, you know, growing up, a lot of times you hear people say I broke, and you thought they don't have $1 to their name.
Nah,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
the first
You know what I'm
time.
saying? But-
And when your mother tell you she broke,
Yeah, you're
but it's
like,
like,
what?
yeah, I say you broke. We always got a heap of money in, man. You got a heap of money still.
Exactly.
That's the same thing. It's like, you always broke, but then you got a bag of money to go do this.
Right, exactly. But
You don't
that
understand.
money have a purpose. So that money ain't for spending. So I don't have
Exactly.
extra money
You
to
don't
go
have no
ahead and
free
no
money.
free money. You know, a day, but it's already spent pretty much. You know what I'm saying? That's the key of budgeting. Though. One of the big things, if you know about Robert Kiyosaki, you know, that's one of my favorite books. Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert
Rich Dad,
Kiyosaki.
Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor
Yeah.
Dad. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
My boy, yeah. Okay.
You know? But Robert Kiyosaki, the one thing he say, the key to becoming wealthy, and one of the first key to becoming wealthy is pay yourself first. Whenever you make
Pay
money,
yourself
pay
first.
yourself first. What that means is before you pay any bill, when you get a check, have a set amount that you say, I can pay myself in a savings account first. So that way, once you pay yourself first, and then you get to your bills, whatever left, that's all you get in your name to spend. But if you try to pay yourself last saying, oh, I can pay my bills, then I can go to the club, then I can get my hair done, and if I get anything left, I can go ahead and put something on
Oh,
the
so
side.
you
Yeah.
treating
know what I'm
yourself
saying?
like a bill
Like a
then?
bill.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so would you put yourself as a bill in the same category as the other bills, or you just
Absolutely.
give yourself a simple bill?
No, I pay myself as a bill, so I even have a book. Every time I get paid, first thing I do that morning, I get a book. I already know exactly what bills are already gonna get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's every check. I already know. I already write down exactly what it is and the amounts. So from time I get paid, even if I haven't paid it out yet, I already know what my net amount is, meaning that I already know what I have to spend in the next 2 weeks until I get paid again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been doing that since I was making. I ain't gonna say how much I was making, but I have been doing that since I was making nearly minimum wage. You know,
Yeah.
when I get my first job, I saw I was making $8 an hour. You know, and even since
Hey.
then,
Yeah.
I was doing that budgeting, that mentality. At the end of the day, my net was probably $100 for the next 2 weeks. You know,
Make it stretch.
You make it
Hey,
stretch.
you
You know what I'm
gotta
saying?
do
But
that.
if you don't do that, you end up spending, and your budget end up turning into a negative for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you don't know how much you really make a month. All you're doing is looking at that check and saying and just spending crazy, and then a bill come up to you and you say, "Wow, me, you know, this is what do." And I can't find the money now. You gotta go borrow it. Me, I hate asking people for money. I mean, I hate asking for help.
But you ain't partnering with somebody who developing an app about liquid cash.
Yeah. We developed this app. It's called Liquid Cash.
Okay.
So basically, it's like a money hub. You can move money in real time versus like you were saying with Western Union, how you have to pay all of those fees.
Yeah, bro, them
and
fees would be
you have
crazy,
to drive
man.
to the spot.
And
you
it's
gotta wait
so
in
much
line.
inconvenience,
Exactly,
bro.
you gotta fill out a form,
Okay.
and then hopefully the machine work in.
Yeah, bro, man.
And I recently had that experience.
Oh my god, bro,
Yeah,
come on, man.
Exactly. Well, with our app, you could move the money in real time. Like I
Right.
could send it to you right now. You have it right now, and you can spend it anywhere. It has a anywhere Visa is accepted.
So you
It
don't
has
come with a card.
you get a free Visa card with it,
Okay.
and you can transfer the money from your account directly onto the Visa card, spend that anywhere, or you could actually the app generates like a QR code,
Right.
Okay.
and you can have that scanned in like in a store that partners with us or anything, and the money comes right out of
So
the
if
app. You
my
wouldn't
mother-
even need the card.
If my mother in St. Thomas and I wanted to send her some money, all she got to do is download that app and I get my app. And I could just
Exactly.
And it's
go
as
ahead and
simple as that.
Instantly.
Instantly.
Ain't no
Instantly.
business hours. This.
From my
Nope.
bedroom.
Yeah, you don't gotta leave
While
the
in my
bed
room.
down. You don't even need a room.
While
You
getting
don't-
busy.
you don't even need a room.
Mama needs some shoes.
Right? Exactly. And then she does whoop, and you get the money right.
So it's
for the
that
shoes.
simple.
It's that simple.
Okay.
Nice.
And the app is free.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it called though?
It's called Liquid Cash. You can find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. If you want more information, then you go to getliquidcash.com and it'll give you like some
Liquid
a little more
cash.
insight.
So if
into
you
it.
don't trust yourself and you're not a disciplined person, every time you get paid,
You could drop
get
it
your
in.
mom on a liquid cash, send her $200.
that
tell her
whole
hold
lot.
it
Exactly,
from
tell
me.
her whole lot it.
You know,
Yeah.
send her a whole
So
lot.
when you mean instant, you mean like right now? As soon as that thing says send,
Real time.
she could open her app and that money is there. And then she could, in the same time, she could take that money out and put it in her account so she could have it right then and there.
Exactly.
come on, man. That's 2016 shit right there.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And that's all about what we're talking about. Entrepreneurship and finding a new avenue, a new vehicle to get where you try and go.
Yeah, man.
This probably in a 10-year plan. This probably something to kind of just get recognition out there. Maybe in 5 years, 3 years, you sell it.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
There you go. Yeah.
This is the spearhead, pretty much.
It's a nice ass hat, by the way. I don't want to start. That's a nice ass hat, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
just nice. And we're gonna wrap up this episode tonight though, because we got a lot of good information out, and I feel like it was important to get us out to, let it hear from somebody of your own. You ain't got to hear from the guy that speaking in his way and you just lost. We're hearing it from somebody from our own. And I want to thank you for coming out. You know what I mean?
For sure. Anytime.
Brother found another mother right there.
Anytime.
No more Yankee daps. Thank my bro for filling in and short. No more Yankee daps.
He initiated.
It'll happen. Just to show you, but coming in short notice, to get this message out. And like I said, man, plenty more to come. We're gonna try and hit more angles. This is for us by us. And yeah, man, we're doing this on Island Time. So see you next time on Island Time.
Peace.
This is supposed to be the effect.